What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Danny Hughes, Strategy and Operations Manager at Neo Battery Materials. It's a pleasure to have you back on today, Danny. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. Excited to be talking about the company. Your stock's been performing very well. You guys have been up to a lot when it comes to business development and all that. So, can you start by telling us everything you've been up to since we last spoke?
Yes. So Neo Battery Materials, we've been making great strides in our business, R&D, commercialization, all the fun parts of our business. In South Korea, we'll touch upon it later, but we are in the initial phases for construction of the commercial plant. As you can see here on the background, as well as product R&D. We have multiple pipelines of product evaluation that are occurring with global battery cell manufacturers, as well as EV automakers. And they've been commenting highly about our products in terms of the high performance and the low cost characteristics that we can provide for not just only EV batteries, but also electronics, ESS, aviation, or even aeronautics batteries as well. So we are a completely versatile, full-fledged silicon anode firm at the current moment. And we're excited to share some updates with your viewers of what we have been up to since the last few months.
Definitely, and we'll be talking about that in a minute or two. So can you start by providing us with a brief overview of Neo Battery Materials for newcomers to the company? And can you explain the specific advancements and developments Neo is focusing on within the EV industry?
Yes, so as we know today, the EV industry is growing quite exponentially with government mandates as well as institutions wanting to have green technologies. We're seeing that EV growth is growing each year at a big rate. But really to drive EV penetration, there are two factors really being battery cost reductions as well as battery performance enhancements, whether be it increasing the EV driving range or decreasing the charging time as well. But here at Neo Battery Materials, what we have found is a unique technology and solution called silicon anode materials to increase the EV driving range by more than 20-30%, enable ultra-fast charging, and cut down EV battery costs at all the same time. So to give you a little more context, four battery materials exist. So these are the core materials: the cathode, anode, separator, as well as the electrolyte. Now, focusing on the anode material, today virtually all batteries use graphite as the anode material, hence graphite stocks being quite exciting during these times. However, although graphite is reliable, it still contributes to fundamental problems such as slow charging, limited runtimes, and increasing costs of EV batteries due to the projected shortage of graphite in the next 10 years. Therefore, today in the industry, silicon is recognized to be a holy grail solution to graphite because we can enable, as I said, longer EV driving ranges because it can store 10 times more capacity compared to graphite, decrease the charging time, as well as decrease overall EV battery costs. So at Neo, over the past 2 years, with management and engineering team from the largest South Korean battery manufacturers, which are also the global battery manufacturers such as LG and Samsung, we have developed and fine-tuned an energy-efficient, cost-effective manufacturing technology. And when we couple this with being the first in the industry to use the cheapest silicon raw materials, we are confident to say that we will be the lowest cost global producer, providing silicon anodes to the downstream that is 70 to 80% cheaper compared to our competitors. And in terms of the pipeline, we've established over 60 relationships with global battery cell manufacturers, EV automakers, chemical material companies, as well as electronics companies. We're currently today ongoing 20 plus active material evaluation for collaborative and strategic partnerships. So we have this clear roadmap to commercialization, and we're expediting this process through increasing the customer pipeline, as well as agile optimization of our materials.
That's very impressive. You guys have made a lot of progress since we started covering you. So
Yes.
most recently, your company has entered into a binding agreement with your preferred contractor for the South Korean commercial plant construction. Could you give me the details of this agreement, and what are the next steps?
Yes, so on July 5th, we have announced that we have entered into a binding agreement with our preferred contractor after negotiating with them a little over a month for the final contract. So the final contract mainly dealt with due diligence on the construction project details, material procurement, estimates and budgets, and other important considerations that we had to make for the benefit of our company. So for the next steps, we expect to break ground in South Korea in the middle of next month, so mid-August. So, and preliminary work such as site clearance, civil engineering, and the foundational construction work will commence at that time. So we're targeting to complete the commercial plant by the first half of 2024 with an initial production capacity of about 240 tons per annum. So we will supply low-cost, high-performance silicon anode materials, as I said, to global cell battery manufacturers, EV automakers in South Korea, Europe, as well as the US. So this binding agreement has come at the perfect time so that we can accelerate our commercialization for Neo Battery to integrate into the global EV battery supply chain.
So last week, the company released an internal feasibility study reporting attractive economics and high profitability for the South Korean commercial plant. Could you provide us with financial highlights and what we can expect in terms of growth and expansion?
Yeah, so just last week, we've released an exciting piece of news that highlights what investors and stakeholders can expect from NEO's South Korean commercial plant. They can see here in the background. So first, as cautionary statement, this is an internal study conducted by management, and forward-looking statements are included with assumptions that may not be truly reflected and realized in the future. So we caution against placing undue reliance, and we duly advise to read the study as a whole. And to conduct this study, we use the most updated models of our mass production systems, construction estimates, as well as cost projections of our silicon anode materials and the general macroeconomic condition and environment. So for this South Korea commercial plant, we plan to expand the facility in 4 phases, doubling production capacity by each year. So as discussed, by the first half of 2024, we plan to complete the 240 tons per year facility, increasing up to 5,000 tons per year by phase 4, which is in the next 4 or 5 years, so 2027, 2028. So assuming the initial average selling price to be about 50,000 USD per ton, or about 50 USD per kilogram, the maximum annual revenue will grow from 12 million USD in phase 1 to over 250 million USD in phase 4. So although this constant selling price was used, as we have sort of strategically discussed, we will actually be decreasing this price over time to achieving 70 to 80% reduction in our selling price. And talking a little bit more about our phase 4 economic assessment, the expected average annual revenues would be about 235 million USD with an after-tax NPV of about 360 million USD, discounted at an 8% cost of capital with an after-tax IRR of about 33.3%. So this final facility is expected to be completed with a capex of about 80 million USD and an average annual OPEX of about 73 million USD. So as an important note, the initial capex outlays for phase 1 will not directly reflect the capex for the whole facility. This is because the capacity to capex ratio, this will grow at an exponential rate as capex is significantly minimized with each phase expansion. So we're confident now to go forward with commercialization as this data has demonstrated the substantial potential for scalability, international expansion, as well as mass adoption into electric vehicles. So now we'll conduct third-party testing with a South Korean engineering firm to validate the numbers that we have. And this firm will have a specialty in the battery manufacturing and materials industry as well. So these are the next steps that we'll take to validate the study that we have conducted.
So when it comes to expansion plans into Canada, how are you aiming to fund this initiative?
Yes, so we have an international strategy, global expansion strategy to first construct our commercial plant in South Korea, but then go our ways into Canada, US, as well as Europe. And now with Canada, we have just appointed Dr. Luc Duchesne as our VP of Government Relations. Now we'll initiate our Canada expansion strategy as we aim to set up an R&D center in Ontario that will be financed through grants and non-dilutive funding programs. And to give a little background about Dr. Duchesne, he has led federal, provincial government applications and also managed relationships with government officers and entities. And he has extensive experience in private-public partnerships over his 35-year career in the pharmaceutical, agriculture, manufacturing, energy, and mining sectors as well. And he has an extensive record of securing government grants and non-dilutive financing as well. So to talk a little bit more about the R&D Center in Ontario, this will allow us to localize the silicon anode materials production with better communication, faster material evaluation, and improve relationships with Canadian and US global battery manufacturers and EV automakers that we are currently conducting testing with. So We are trying to strategically focus to fund this facility almost exclusively through non-dilutive financing. So we will begin to build a portfolio of grant applications. And also concurrently, we are trying to form a task force of battery professionals, university professors, as well as government officials, former government officials, to increase this amount and also expand research to become a comprehensive battery materials company. So long story short, Neo Battery Materials, we're making impressive strides in not only product development and optimization, but also we're creating a reliable, effective team to let our silicon anodes to be commercialized by next year. So we're breaking ground in South Korea with our contractor for the initial construction process. And with the South Korean province's help, we expect to accelerate this timeline as well. And with international expansion and positive product developments, we hope to bring positive news and developments very soon. And we also hope everyone is excited for our commercialization journey to become one of the top 10 suppliers of silicon anode materials in the global sector.
Definitely, I look forward to watching you guys execute. So finally, where's the best place for investors or prospective shareholders to find out more information on the company?
Yes, I would recommend to go to the website first. We have emails as well as phone numbers that you can contact management as well as me as well. And I think that will be the best place to go to reach, to have contact.
Perfect, Danny. Well, thank you so much for all those updates. You guys are up to a lot and have made a lot of progress so far. So congratulations, and we'll have you back on for more updates soon, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you so much.
If you like these videos, kindly hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Drop us a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. And finally, always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. Furthermore, this video may or may not have been sponsored by the companies that we've profiled within this video, and we may or may not own shares of any of the profiled companies in this video. If you want to know the full disclosure details, check the description down below along with thoroughly reading our disclaimer. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.